Welcome back to the place where polish cracks and the truth breathes. You've tuned into Secrets Behind the Stars, the corner of the internet that doesn't settle for glossy captions or rehearsed statements. Tonight, we are not just narrating a headline, we are peeling back layers of silence and pride to witness a defining chapter in modern showbiz. If you came for noise, you might be disappointed. If you came for heart, conflict, and a love story challenged in public view, you are exactly where you need to be. Before we wade into this storm of glances and carefully chosen words, stake your claim in our community. Tap subscribe like you're shutting down a bad rumor, hit that like so our voice cuts through the static, and if you want a front row seat to every unraveling and every revelation, the join button is waiting. Your comments will be essential tonight. Because what unfolded was not a segment, it was a reckoning. The venue was a gala, sold to the world as a toast to art and cinema, yet charged with something far denser than fragrance and flashbulbs. For months, the names Jenk, Torun and Mahassine Merabet have been murmured in inboxes and DMs, argued in forums, typed into search bars like confessions. Their connection has hovered like a rumor everyone could feel but nobody could pin down, a bright shape seen through smoked glass. They chose discretion. They protected their lives. But restraint breeds voids, and voids invite authors who never lived the chapters. Narratives were written for them. Last night, those chapters were ripped apart and rewritten in front of everyone. They walked in not as two people trying to evade the same camera, but as one pulse. Fingers laced, shoulders aligned, moving through the frenzy as if they were the calm at its center. Jenk and Mahasine stepped into the arena together. Yet the headline of the night was not merely the image of unity, it was the defense of its reality. Hanging over them was the bitter echo of old words from Mahassine's past, the accusation slung by her ex-boyfriend, Barak Berke. His claim was simple and brutal, that this romance is a fabrication, a promotional maneuver, a sterile arrangement staged for relevance. You do not need to work in this industry to understand how corrosive that label is. To be called a PR couple is to be stripped of warmth and intention, to be filed away as a prop. It suggests that affection is scripted, that touch is contractual, that intimacy is a currency traded for clicks. It asks the public to look at a smile and see a branding exercise. That was the poison dropped into the conversation about Jenk and Mahassine, an attempt to turn their tenderness into product. The press, sharpened by anticipation, circled. The question waited like a trap. When the microphone found Mahassine, the cordial smile she offered the world shifted. It didn't vanish, it crystallized. In a breath, the red carpet persona gave way to the woman who guards her dignity. The mood in the room tightened from festive to confrontational. When asked if her relationship was engineered for attention, Mahasine did not hesitate. She took a measured pause, as if anchoring herself to the earth beneath her high heels, and locked eyes with the lens. Her voice didn't need to rise to command the room. It carried a steadiness that made people lean in. She refused to let anyone shrink what she feels. She spoke of choosing with her own heart, of standing on her choices without needing a manufactured script to buoy her career. Without theatrics, she reclaimed her autonomy. She made it plain, partners might enter and exit one's life, but her agency isn't up for debate. This, she insisted, is their real story. And no one would be allowed to twist it for their own gain. Let's pause and talk, Secrets Behind the Stars family. This isn't just celebrity crossfire, it is the long shadow of baggage. How many of you have tried to step into a cleaner chapter only to feel a hand from yesterday tugging at your sleeve, trying to drag you back into old rooms? Is it jealousy, a hunger for control, or the ache of seeing someone find calm without you? Tell me below. Do you think Barak Berke spoke from a wound, or was this a measured play for attention? I want to hear your read on this tug-of-war. If her words were a shield, Jenk's entrance became the blade. Until that instant, Jenk held a quiet perimeter around the woman beside him, watchful, protective, calculating where his voice would do the most good. But watching her explain her feelings to strangers, watching her defend something sacred when she shouldn't have to, snapped the chain on his silence. He moved forward, not with bluster, but with a certainty that hushed the space. He took the mic, and for a second all you heard were camera shutters and held breath. He said they had stayed quiet for a long time. His tone carried the fatigue of months of restraint. He didn't just deny the accusation, he turned on the light and showed us the room where this relationship began. They met, he said, when they were fragile. Not on a glitzy set, not at a buzzing party, but in a season when life felt heavy. It suggested shared hurt, the kind of long night that makes you recognize someone who understands without speaking. You don't design a fake relationship on top of vulnerability, you seek convenience for that. What Jenk articulated was a sanctuary built in hardship, not a pitch meeting dressed as romance. He drew a boundary, clean and unmistakable. He said he had no respect for anyone who tried to make small what they share. When prodded about whether Barak's words bothered him, he avoided polite vagueness. He answered with the kind of clarity you only get when you've decided you're done negotiating your truth. People have histories, he acknowledged, that's human. But yesterday does not get to dim today. If labeling their love as counterfeit is now considered normal discourse, he said, then nobody should expect them to sit quietly and accept it. The room heard a line being carved into stone. And as if on cue, the internet roared. Comment sections and timelines crown Jenk the partner who doesn't perform protectiveness, he practices it. Not with noise, but with backbone. Here's what our sources are whispering to secrets behind the stars. This eruption wasn't impulsive, it was a slow boil. Those around the pair say the constant attempts to delegitimize what they have took a real toll, not just the posts seen by millions, but the rumor threads woven in private circles. We're told Jenk, a man who lives by the philosophy that he owes explanations to no one, heard even from close friends that his continued silence looked like weakness. Imagine the weight of that. On one side, dignity and privacy, on the other, the obligation to defend not only your name but the woman you love. What finally tipped the scales wasn't an attack on him, it was the attempt to belittle her feelings. That, we're told, woke the lion. While words flew, another language hummed in the background, touch. Those who pay attention to the micro-moments noticed how often their hands found each other, how instinctively his body tilted in front of hers, a human shield disguised as a posture. There was a blink-and-you-miss-it moment where Jenk bent toward her and murmured something. The rumor behind the curtain says he told her, whatever comes, we're side by side. Let everyone see it. That whisper felt like a vow. And when their eyes met, a small, private smile surfaced between them, the kind that says, it's us, we know it, and that's enough. You can't fabricate that in a boardroom. Now let's address the elephant the industry keeps feeding. Yes, relationships have been staged for publicity. There are agents who calculate chemistry the way others calculate ratings. That cynicism is the seedbed for accusations like the one tossed at Jenk and Mahasine. So how do you tell? Is it the gaze, the ease of the bodies in a room, the willingness to fight for each other when it would be simpler to say nothing? Tell me if you believe them, or if a small skeptical voice still lingers for you. Here at Secrets Behind the Stars, we believe truth is rarely simple, and your takes help us get closer to it. As the evening thinned out and security made that gentle funnel toward the exit, a reporter lobbed the question meant to tie the bow: were they officially acknowledging the relationship? Jenk offered a clear, almost casual answer that reframed everything: we never hid. Now everyone can see what's real to us. In that one line, he suggested we were distracted, or perhaps we were busy listening to the wrong narrator. And then Mahasine added the final note: we're happy. That's what matters. They didn't leave like fugitives dodging suspicion. They left like contenders who had finished the round on their feet. The aftershock was immediate. The battlefield of social platforms tilted. The camp defending Barak's claims shrank under the swell of those rallying around what they saw as a powerful, dignified stand. The next move sits with Barak Berke. Does he escalate, or does the united posture of Jenk and Mahasine make further noise look small? Pundits love to say that love is proven in storms. If that's the measure, then tonight they didn't just survive the weather, they set a bar others will study. Brick by brick, with each sentence and each look, they built a wall against that tired word, stunt. We rarely witness a rumor dismantled not with spectacle, but with raw clarity. Jenk, Torun and Mahassine Merabet showed that while silence has its place, sometimes speaking saves the thing you were trying to protect by being quiet. Speech, tonight, was not loud for the sake of volume, it was precise, unyielding, bright as a cut stone. We'll be watching for the countermove. And you already know, Secrets Behind the Stars will be here to break it down the moment it lands. If this deep dive into the veins and valves of a headline resonated with you, press like so more people can find it. Make sure you're subscribed, don't drift past the family. If you want to keep long-form, independent storytelling alive, that join button is our lifeline. Thank you for your time, your thoughts, and your curiosity. Until the next twist, the next kiss, the next reveal, stay bold, stay kind, and remember, we have secrets, and we have the truth, right here at Secrets Behind the Stars. Good night.